It's good. Hey everybody, welcome. We're in Lehigh. Welcome to Bowed Not Broken. It's day 853 of pulling people out of darkness and depression, and oppression, I guess, if that's the case. Geez, live TV. With me today is Nettie Frank and my wonderful man here, Josh, who is always willing to jump in and help out. Today's focus was just a raw conversation. The other day we were at Myers Beats and we sat down just to have a drink, and we started to talk about depression, we started talking about suicide, we started talking about parenting and all those types of things.
Yeah.
And I really would like to do this. I'd like to do it I'd like to do it maybe once a month, maybe, and we can get some more parents and I don't want to lead the discussion other than I wanted Nettie to kind of tell me, I mean, she's, and Josh as well, from a man's perspective, but from her perspective, you know, married, kids, you know, successful chef and businesswoman and all that. What are your fears? What are your fears, and what have you experienced? Are you experiencing just this overwhelming pressure on teenagers and even on parents and all that kind of stuff? That's kind of how I wanted to open it up.
Yeah.
So there's no barriers, no nothing here.
Yeah, like we're this is raw. Like, I don't have makeup on. My hair
No
is
makeup.
in its natural state.
I don't either.
Like, we've got our Starbucks refreshers, which are a must most of the days.
That's right.
No, but our conversation the other day, I think expectations is the biggest word out there that we put on ourselves, that society puts on us, that everything puts on us, expectations, and if we don't live up to them, we've automatically failed. And then we hit depression, then we have the anxiety, then we have all the other snowball effect of things that happen, if that makes sense. So I think it goes to like expectations of, what does my community expect of me? What does my spouse expect of me? What do my kids expect of me? But I think most of the time we put the most harsh expectations on ourselves, that if we don't meet it, then we're the worst mom. If we didn't go to every single lunch with our child, if we weren't
soccer match,
if we weren't room mom, if we didn't do sorry, the train goes by.
Yeah,
you're in my hood, you guys. This is my hood. Welcome.
We're in the Thanksgiving hood.
Yeah, you're in my hood.
Yeah.
But I think there's just so many expectations, and it's hard. I think there's this underlining of competition between moms of, well, you didn't stay and do that with your kid. No, I was working to help provide for my family. And that's a good thing to teach my child that mom's working too. You know, and there's more stay-at-home dads. There's so many. Do you think it's
gotten worse? I mean, I know your mom and I've known her for a while, not very well. But do you think it's much different than when she was a mother?
Oh my gosh.
What do you think?
Oh my gosh.
So the expectations have just skyrocketed.
Yes. Well,
you're not playing the victim. I want to make sure people know that we're not playing the victim here.
No, we're talking real. That's what we're talking. So, like my mom, even, bless her heart, I love her so much, but there's sometimes still where she's like, well, how come, you know, and this was a couple years ago. Since then, we've had lots of great conversations.
Right.
But like, how come dinner's not out? Well, guess what? Brant can help do dinner too.
Right.
You know, I've been out cooking for people all day long, so, you know, and Brant picks up the slack. Oh, hold on, we got a bad thing.
Yeah, we're close. Hopefully we'll make it on mine. We'll make it on yours, I'm sure.
If not, just go to Nettie Frank. If you're from
Nettie
Boat.
Frank.
Switch over to Nettie Frank. We're doing it live.
And we can even switch to Josh.
Yeah, and Josh. We got it. We'll get it. But yeah, so I think expectations is a big thing, and I've fallen to it. And that threw me, to be honest, about a year and a half ago, into a heavy depression. Heavy depression, which nobody really talks about, right? Because we want to hide it. Because it's something that's shameful to us. It's something that we don't want people to know. We have to we have to be ready to go, right? With a smile on, especially for me when I go and do TV things. People think I'm on point all the time.
Can I just tell you how grateful I am for you to do this and come on, because everybody worries about, you're on TV a lot, you're out in the public a lot, and here you are admitting to, like every other normal human being, that you have your days.
We have shiz going on in our life, and it sucks. You know what I'm
Life's
saying?
rough.
Right.
Yeah, it's super rough, and so it. Hi, Larry. We're doing a live feed. That's the neighbor. Hi, Larry. We're just doing a live TV thing.
Hi, Larry. How are you?
Everybody say hi to Larry.
Hi, Larry.
Larry.
So anyway, so people do expect me to be on point and to have that smile and everything. And mind you, yeah, I'm great when we're talking about food and all that's my passion. And I get on TV and I have a minute and 30 seconds to give you a recipe, and you better believe I'm going to give you the best recipe.
Right.
Sorry, my hood again. Anyways, train, isn't that off Wayne's World? Car.
Game on.
I'm the worst squirrel. I'm always like, squirrel. That's why I never get things done.
So
anyways,
what keeps you in the game? What kind of advice, or what kinds of things do you talk with your girlfriends and things like that keep you focused or grounded?
So I've gone to, because like I said, like a year and a half ago, I was in a super scary place. There were things that were happening in my life that were completely out of my control that triggered trauma in my life. And emotional trauma is super big. Like it happens.
Right.
And so I then started seeing a counselor, which I still go and see, an energy healer.
Good.
And you have to have like there's circles, right? And in that inner circle, you need to have 1 to 2 really good friends that you know that you can say anything and everything to, and you are in a safe space. And then in the outer circle, you know, can be other friends, and the outer circle can be neighbors and stuff that you talk to once in a while. They don't need to know everything that goes on in your life, but you need to have some safe space that you can really talk about those raw, hurtful, how you're feeling kind of moments.
Well, don't you have to also kind of establish some no judgment zones?
No filter
with your
zone.
Parents?
That's what I call it.
Not your parents, with your obviously with your kids, but for you as a parent, but as with your friends, you know who you could trust, who's not going to judge you. I mean, we're all on the same ship. And if anybody claims that they don't have issues, then you know.
We are calling you out because everyone has their own shiz. Everyone. I don't care how you like show up, what you say, and you don't like. Everything's fine. You have your own shiz. You know it.
That's why we're here.
So let's talk about it.
That's why we're here. And
I'm tired of not talking about it.
Yes.
Wow. Sorry, got a little passionate.
No.
I'll rein it in.
I hope you'll talk about it a lot over the next quite a way, and appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Josh, when we talk about stepping up to the plate, from a man's perspective, tell me a little bit about, you know, and you don't have to get too personal, but I know that, you know, you deal with other parents, you know, step parents and men particularly that typically don't want to be vulnerable.
Men?
That don't want to be men.
Half men.
Yeah. Speak to that a little bit about, you know, and we as men get depressed as well. We have thoughts of, you know, bad thoughts, and we as dads, very similar to moms, sometimes we don't think we're doing the best thing. Kind of talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. I don't know. Being a father is probably the greatest accomplishment of my life, and so to watch what we call them not half men. Not take responsibility for their actions and for their children. I mean, this isn't somebody that you just, oh wow, I had a baby, I'm gonna disappear, no big deal. This is like throwing a cigarette out the window. It's not a fucking cigarette. Excuse my language. These are children. People neglect their kids, and that has been something that's just been huge in my life. Very passionate about. Even, you know, I mean, I wasn't a dad until I was 30 years old. And it was something that I questioned was ever going to happen. When it did, it was the greatest thing ever. And I find myself now divorced with a new woman. We have a child together. She has a daughter from her previous marriage, and there's struggles in the lack of being a father in that situation. And
their expectations as opposed to yours.
Exactly. I mean,
again, expectations is
expectations.
Like the biggest word.
That's probably the topic of what we just need to always talk about.
But there shouldn't be expectations in being a parent. I mean, that's just a given.
Right.
You should
Right.
take responsibility.
But
and
we're
be a
talking
parent,
about inner expectations.
Right?
Of, am
Yes.
I doing the right thing?
Right.
Am I doing the best? Why aren't they doing? You know, and that could be a little bit judgmental on our
Yes.
part. But there are people that really don't take on responsibility very well,
Yes.
and we have to pick up the pieces sometimes.
So it's hard taking care of that. I mean, explaining to a 10-year-old why dad doesn't come around and making excuses and constantly making excuses for somebody else gets a little tiring.
Right.
And it's hard. I mean,
Right.
like you were talking about society, there's these norms and these roles that you have to fit in, and if you're not doing things the right way, then you're not doing the best for your children. And that's another thing where being a parent and taking on that role for other people, I would never change it for anything in the world. I would take on anybody's children if that's what they
Right.
need. And having that expectation, am I doing things right? Am I doing what I should be doing as your stepfather? Because I can't fill that void. I can do my best, but I can't completely fill that void. So where am I missing? And what am I lacking on in providing for her? And and then I feel bad, and it's real.
What are some of the things that keep you in the game? What are a couple things that keep you in the game to keep you focused? Because I know you can get down and you can get all those types of things like we all do.
Everybody does.
What keeps you, what could we possibly pass on other than we need to talk about it? We need to have dialogue. We need to, what have you learned about yourself that might help someone else?
Probably the most important thing for me, and you obviously know, you've answered the phone a time or two in random hours of the night, and it's
Right.
like, dude, I need to talk, and
Right.
and having that, like you said, having what I call my no filter zone. I don't have a whole lot of people that I trust enough to open up completely to, but having that is very key. Get out of yourself.
It's huge.
Get out of yourself. People find, I find myself, when in my low times, I'm consumed in my own shit.
Yeah.
Right.
And all it takes is getting out of the mundane, the routine, the thing that I've been doing the most. Me, I check out, I go turkey hunting. I go
Right.
to the mountains for 2 days. I go
Right.
somewhere out of the norm, mess it up a little bit.
So in kind of
You need a positive outlet. Like,
Right?
to be honest, like, I was triggered this last week because of a situation between another individual and I, and it totally triggered me, and I just was like, I can't. Oh my gosh.
Right.
Like, I felt like I was
Right.
spiraling kind of in a way, in an emotional way. Well, I planted my garden. I got,
Right.
in the dirt. I threw music on and I planted my garden. And I think we just have to find healthy outlets to keep
Right.
us, like you said, like you go on a hike or
Me
do
time.
those things. Like, you totally need to just recenter, refocus, and you have to tell your mind. Your mind is the most powerful thing, and your mind controls everything. Like, if my health problems start kicking in, that means I'm having a lot of emotional turmoil. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on. So I have to, refocus and see what's going on, do some positive things. It doesn't mean I'm, all of a sudden, whittling and making...
What figurines?
I don't know. But if I start baking and bringing around treats in the neighborhood, I had a bad day. That's the truth.
You're not sitting naked on a bus stop.
No.
That's good.
Okay, that's a good one. Hey, tell us about the Emily Effect.
Emily Effect. Yes, I have the shirt on. So my good friend is just a couple doors down from me, and this was her cousin. Emily suffered from major depression postpartum, but it just triggered a lot of just heavy depression. And her husband tried to get her help at a lot of places, but they were more like institution places instead of just talking about just the actual depression portion. She went to counselors. They were advocates. They were doing everything they could possible. And sometimes our minds just get away from us. And unfortunately, it was a very sad event that she passed away. Emily passed away. And so now it brought awareness, and her husband is trying to make so many people more aware of what depression can really do. It's not just like, I'm depressed today. It's so much more, and it's so much bigger than that, because it affects everything else. And that's why the Emily Effect, they're trying to promote it and say, let's talk about it. Let's have more places where you can call, like you've been talking about, like suicide lines that actually somebody picks up, because that was part of our conversation.
Right.
You want someone on the other line going, I'm here for you. I'm listening to what you have to say.
Someone to listen, not
and
someone
I
to
care.
talk to you.
Well, and
and
that's
I
what
care that you
exactly.
exist. I care.
And that's why it's so important, you know, we talk about it every day, reaching out, because you never know, as a friend or someone, an observer, how much you might connect with that person better than the clinical or the other folks. I'm a firm believer. I'm a firm believer in the clinical side, but I'm also a big believer that friends and family can help pull people out as well.
And I think we need to make it not so scary to come and talk, because depression and anxiety has also been a shameful thing. It's something that we hide. It's a dark thing. It's I don't want to put you out.
Vulnerability.
Because, you know, vulnerability.
You want to be vulnerable.
But the more you are, the more you heal. And
Right.
that is what I've realized. The more you are and the more you talk about it, you heal. And then all of a sudden someone else comes up to you and goes, thank you. I needed to hear that because I'm going through that. And you go, okay, well, let's talk about it. Like, what do you need to talk about? Well, I don't know what to talk about right now, but I just need to know that someone else is going through it.
Can you just listen? I mean,
And
a lot of people, it's just listening.
I bet majority, like 100% of us all have had these feelings. 100%.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like 20% here or like, no, 100% of us have all gone through this. I mean, even my husband, when I've seen him stressed with work and stuff, his personality changed. And I catch it and I go, okay, what do we need to do? Like, date night? What,
Right.
you know, do you need to just talk?
Yeah,
And he's
yeah.
like, and love you guys, but guys don't like to talk. They just like, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think just being aware.
Right.
I think instead of judging and going, oh, well, she's being like snotty today, you don't know what kind of day she had.
Right.
You honestly
Right.
don't know. What if something happened that day that triggered her and she can't get out of that? Or him,
Right.
or a teenager. Like,
It's not always the person who's walking around with a frown on their face. It could be the person who smiles 23 hours a day. You don't know
Exactly.
that 1 hour of what's
Exactly.
going on and why they hide that so much.
I just think
point.
we need to rally around each other. I think the biggest word here is we need to love each other. Like, it just, period. Like, stop the judging. And I know here in Utah, sorry, it might offend a lot of people right now, but a lot of our culture gets a little too judgy. If we're not doing this, if we're not doing that, it gets too judgy and it puts those expectations on people. They automatically feel like they failed instead of encouraging them or just saying, I'm just glad you're here. Or like, hey, what's up? How are you? Not like, you know, I didn't see you last week. I didn't see you weren't
Where
here.
were you on
Right.
Like, there's
that
the
day?
negative way to say things and then there's a positive way of saying things. And we need to turn it to the positive of just saying, what's up? Let's go to Starbucks
There
and
we
get
go.
a refresher. What do you need?
I hope we can do this again.
Let's do it.
I thank you and you, both of you, for your candor. I think this is great TV. This is
It's
stuff
real.
this stuff
Needs to
that can
happen.
actually change some lives. So I hope you out there will like it, share it. You know, we'll put it up as soon as we can, and we'll do this again.
Yeah.
I know we only have attention spans aren't very
I know.
long.
I know. We
But
gotta keep that going.
but it's one of those things where I think what we've covered, there's so much to cover and there's so much to talk about. So I hope we'll come back.
Yes, next time I really want to talk about the Netflix series 13 Reasons Why.
Yes, let's do
Oh,
that.
wow.
We need
Let's
to
do
talk
that.
about that because there
Okay.
is so much to go
Okay.
over with that. If
Let's
you're
do
cool with
that.
We'll do
Yeah,
it.
I have not even broached that subject yet. So that'd be great. That'd be
That's
good.
a whole nother story.
Yeah, we did talk about that. So I just want to thank everybody out there for watching and liking, and please share this. I'll get it up on YouTube as well, and Nettie will be sharing it. Josh will be sharing it, and
This is
maybe,
my first live feed, you guys. Like,
Yay!
what the heck? Celebrate! This is a great one to
It
celebrate.
is on
yeah, he had to show me. I'm like, I don't know what button to push, Mo. What button do I push?
Well, when my finger goes up there, it pushes 3 or 4 buttons. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, and
you.
let's
Thanks, guys.
let's do it again soon. Maybe we can figure out I know we're doing food stuff, but we ought to do that every week too.
That's
so
positive.
I know you
Gotta
don't have a
talk.
lot of time, but let's do it.
Okay, sounds
All
good.
right, thanks
guys.
everybody.
See ya.
Appreciate it.
See you guys.